What's up, everybody? It's Ed Clover here, and I'm coming back to you guys with another video today. And today's video, I'm pretty sure everybody's heard, nice guys finish last, nice guy doesn't always win, things along that line. And that's kind of what I want to talk about today, because, I feel like nowadays, women don't want good men. And when I say good men, I mean men that treat them right, do everything that they want, what they're looking for. And at the end of the day, these men will still treat these certain men like trash, or not give them the time of day, or they will ignore them or overlook them because for some weird reason, women always want they always want the bad guy, right? It's always been like that since forever. We've seen it in movies. So we all know from a man's standpoint, women will say one thing and also mean another thing. Say they want a man for themselves that's going to treat them right, and then here comes the man that treats them right, and they'll end up cheating on them, they'll end up leaving them, and they'll end up ignoring them or not giving them the time of day for whatever reason that they use or whatever excuse that they say, even though that's specifically what they want. But to me personally, that just doesn't make any sense, but it is what it is. But another reason, most of the time these women, they just want control. Another excuse that seems to be quite common, I feel, another good excuse they use is that good men are just boring. First, let's define what a good man is, right? So a good man, he treats he's probably grown up in a two-parent household, comes from a very good family, very smart, very intelligent, well respectful, knows how to treat women, knows how to treat people in general, very kind. And that's why I said, a lot of these women, they like to, fall for the bad guy, the one that just treats them like trash, that's always hurting them, whatever the case may be. But, we all know, kind of the general idea of that. And, like I say, they'll say that good men are just boring, and that's basically because, I feel like when they say that, it's because, majority of good men, majority are just, they abide by the books and stuff. They don't really do too much. They kind of stay at home. They don't really, there's really not too much excitement going on, which there is nothing wrong with being a boring person. But for the majority of women that are trying to chase a certain high, they'll only get that high from a person who has a very spontaneous life. If you can be in a Lamborghini over a Corolla with a guy full of diamonds, doing this and that, compared to a guy who sits at home, drives a Corolla, for whatever reason, women choose that. Women will hurt good men because of that. Because at the end of the day, a woman like that, she'll always, and this isn't all women, but from what we see off of Instagram and TikTok and social media wise, this is kind of what I've seen happen to men, especially good men. Their girl will end up leaving them for a guy that is lives a different lifestyle than that for whatever reason. They get cheated on, they get lied to, they get played, or they're told that it's not them, it's the girl. And I've also seen instances too where women will say they left their significant other because he was too nice for them. Me personally, I don't even understand what that even means, when someone says that. But I've seen instances and also heard instances of things like that where a woman will leave the guy because he's generally too good for her or too nice for her. They kind of basically just want the emotional support you get from a good man, but the lifestyle of a bad boy, if that makes sense. That's all they really want from a good man. I think at the end of the day, those type of women, like I said, not every woman is the same, but if you do encounter those type of women, that's majority of what will happen. For some weird reason, they'll think a good man is too weak. They don't think that a good man can, protect them as well or do the exact same things as a bad boy. When you're just a man in general, you're kind of just a jack of all trades. Majority of men would just end up becoming bad boys on their own. It's kind of a good domino effect. A girl will break a good guy, and then that good guy just ends up becoming the bad boy, and then that bad boy would just end up breaking multiple women's hearts. That's pretty much all I have for today. So, let me know what you guys think in the comments. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for, staying around, watching the videos. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.